pitch is looped toward shortstop. Petrocelli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. That is pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
You know, I got to be honest with you guys. I got a little discombobulated, Lou. I'm sorry, man. Joe, my apologies. I'm late. For our viewing audience, I just got up here to the studio. And you know what I was doing, Lou?
Well, do I want to know?
I was making a sandwich for myself.
Okay, fair enough.
And I left it down in the kitchen. It's sitting there now.
What kind of sandwich, Tom?
It was a ham and cheese with a little tomato, a little Dijon mustard, and I'm sure Ellen's going to wind up eating it. Now, Joe, can you raise your head a little bit? You're a little too low. Lower your camera. No, there you go.
There we go.
Joe Tomasulo from Goldin Auctions is in the house. Welcome, Tom.
I wasn't busy calling you to get you on the show. I could have straightened out his camera.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Joe, what is that picture behind you? Is that a fake? Is that a fake?
No, that is the famous Tom Kincaid, the painter of light, his New York Fifth Avenue painting.
Yeah, but that's a fake, though.
Well, it's a replication.
Okay.
But it was fake enough to cost $1,800.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right, listen, we've got a great show. It's just me, Sweet Lou, and Joe T from Goldin Auctions. We're going to be all over the place. Joe, first of all, before we start anything, the Yankees are collapsing. Red Sox are on the rise. Lou Blasi is really been on the Red Sox. I've been reading some of his posts telling people, don't get excited. They still suck. Pretty much that's what you've been saying, Lou.
They do suck, yes.
Well, I mean.
I'm not impressed with either team.
No, they both suck. They do suck. They really do suck.
They beat the Yankees without their outfield. And they beat Washington Nationals.
The Yankees beat up on poor teams, and I don't even think they can do that anymore. Their lineup is a disgrace. It's an atrocity.
It is pretty bad.
My God. Without Judge, we're awful.
Lou, what's the story with the Contreras? Is he a little irrational? What's going on with him? Is he a little? Is he just a bit off to the right, off to the left?
Kind of, except I don't know if he's wrong in any of this. I don't know what was said last night between him and Cavallari.
Cavallari said to him, go sit down, boy. He said, sit down, boy. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, and he took that as a racial slur and went off on it. So
right.
And of course, when he got thrown out the other night, I don't think that was his fault. I think that was a bad reaction by
that was a terrible reaction. And plus,
he is a little unhinged, but he's victimized. It seems like
he's on an emotional roller coaster because of what's going on in his country. So, all right, Joe. Listen, first thing, auction results. The 100 auction 100 results. Were you happy with them?
Yeah, I mean, some of the results were phenomenal. So, again, I'm not a modern card guru.
Right.
But our first lot, we had the 2018 Superfractor Ohtani rookie right up Lou's alley. It was a flagship 1-of-1 card, and it sold for $2.6 million.
Unbelievable.
Isn't it incredible?
Jesus.
And then that was followed by a 2003, 2004 Upper Deck Exquisite LeBron James card, obviously autographed by James, just a little under $3 million.
Unbelievable. And you have some good vintage stuff in there.
Yeah. We had a Chamberlain rookie 9 that went for $221,000, I believe. Had an NBA silver sticker. Of course, it wouldn't be Golden Auctions if you didn't have a 7-figure Pokemon card.
Unbelievable. You
Um,
guys had a gamer. You had a Mickey gamer, correct?
right. And guys, think about this insanity. So a Mantle bat used during his final MVP season, final World Championship, issued for the All-Star game, which he used after the All-Star game played in Washington, D.C., goes for a little over 100,000. Now, I don't know about you guys from a passionate perspective. I'd rather have that bat sitting in my house than a 2018 Otani card. But that's
I
just
couldn't
us.
agree with you more.
You know what? Maybe the clock is ticking on us, guys.
All right, so Lou, let me ask you that question.
Yeah.
If you have a Mickey gamer, $105,000 bat, and you have an Otani signed card worth $105,000, what do you take?
I want the game. Yeah, I want the game used bat. I want Mickey's bat.
Right.
Think about the there's a nostalgic attachment to a lot of the stuff, especially the memorabilia, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not old enough to have been part of Mickey's playing time, especially in the prime of his career. But it's nostalgic for me because that was part of baseball when I was growing up. People are watching what Otani's doing now, so maybe they have more of an attachment to it because they're actually watching it and experiencing.
Well, he's making a good point, Joe. The Otanis of the world, Mike Trouts of the world, whoever, this is, they're someone's Mickey Mantle, at that age, and which
they're witnessing it. It's real.
Right.
It's not,
right.
Not that Mantle isn't real, but he's bygone. People didn't see him spending this money.
Good point.
But he was still, for me, at my age, he was still, his aura was still around when I got into baseball. So
wait a minute, Louis. He was playing when you were walking, weren't you?
He was playing, but he was well past his prime at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Mickey.
Willie
I
Mays,
missed him by 2
same thing.
years, Lou. I started watching baseball games in 1970, so I missed the Mick by a couple of years.
See, I remember some good Mickey Mantle years and Willie Mays years. I really do. However, my real vivid memory of both of them is at the end of their careers with I remember being in college and watching Mays play for the Mets. Was that his last year? I think it was his last year, wasn't it, Joe?
Which year?
I think it was
Season with the Mets,
71, 72.
For who?
Wasn't Mays with the Mets, playing for the Mets?
His last year was 73 when the Mets played in the World Series.
So it was 73, right? And he batted like 180,
He came to the Mets in 72,
right?
May, and I'll never forget. He hit a game-winning homer for a 5-4 win, his first Met game at Shea.
Yeah, but he was just that 73 season, man. He was just a shell of his former self,
Correct.
Kind of like LeBron, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I agree. Joe, what about your vintage auction, the Joe Tomasulo vintage auction? How did that go?
So,
and by the way, I bid on a couple of things and I got annihilated on them. Just want you to know that.
You and most people, Tom.
I got clobbered. I really wanted that that advertising, Red Sox 1912 advertising, but someone kicked my ass on that. So.
You're spending too much money on ham and cheese sandwiches, I guess. Tom, on 5-figure plus items, we set 46 records.
Wow.
For the grade.
Are you serious?
And yeah, a couple. This one wasn't a record, but it was a notable. We did get 1,830,000 for a PSA 8 52 Topps Mantle. Not a record, but the record's 2.1 million. That was set back in 2021, but definitely a big time sale. They've been selling in the 1.1 to 1.5 range, so we really stretch the budget on that one.
Joe, why is that card? Let's touch upon this, okay? I know Mick he's become a mythical figure almost, but there are tons of 52 mantles out there, tons. And I mean, why? What's the allure of that card in a high grade? And I'm not talking about a 10 or a 9. I'm talking even a 5 to an 8 or a 7 to a 9. What's the allure? I mean, there's thousands of them out there.
You know what, Tom? It's just back in the late 80s, 90s, it just became Mantle's tipping point card. It was the first card in the high number series, number 311. You know, obviously Seiberger dumping, a truckload of those unopened high number cases.
Yeah.
And what did I say in the write-up? In the murky waters of the Atlantic.
Was it the East River? Was it the East River?
It was off the coast of Jersey, the Hudson.
Okay, it was the Hudson. Okay.
Yeah. I
Well, that's
believe.
manufactured rarity, Tom, isn't it?
Lou,
Well-
trust me, I bought some scuba diving outfit.
So, guys, it
Came up
checks the
empty-handed.
boxes. It's the landmark post-war set. The 52 tops.
Yeah.
The size of the cards.
I understand all of that, but so is the
It's a piece of
Otani?
art too. It's American.
It's a beautiful
American iconic
card. I
art.
don't disagree with any of that, but is
The
there an
image is spellbinding. It's the image.
It's a great card.
is-
There's no doubt.
it is.
But is there an Otani card that's going to happen to 20 years from now?
I don't think. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the card we sold in Golden 100 20 years from now.
All right. I want to
The
ask you guys
issue-
both. I want to
But
ask you
Tom,
both.
the issue with the modern players, there's a lot of manufactured rarity. So there's a 1/5 Otani, there's
Right.
a 1/1 Otani, a
Okay.
1/3 Otani. So to single out one as the card, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. I want to ask you guys each this question. I'm going to go Lou first. Okay, Louis.
Yep.
A 52 mantle, PSA 10, or the Ken Kendrick, Gretzky, McNall, Honus Wagner, PSA 8. What do you take?
Well, I'm going to take the money. I'm going to take the PSA 8. I'm going to take the
Wagner?
Wagner. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, Joe, I'm going to ask you the question, then I'm going to ask Lou made a comment about the value. What are you going to take, Joe? You're going to take the Mantle or the Wagner?
100% the Wagner. There's
All right,
only
so-
one. There's
All
only
right,
one.
all right. So now let's look at Marshall Fogel's. There's only there's 3 PSA 10s. One we don't know who owns it. One is owned by Kenny Kendrick on the Mantle, and one is owned by Marshall Resnick. Everybody's in agreement that Marshall's PSA 10 is by far the best in existence. What is that card worth, Joe? What is that PSA 10 Fogel Mantle card? I mean, what's it worth? That's going to be worth pretty close to what the Wagner's worth, no?
I'm gonna value the Mantle in the 50 million range.
All right. So
guys, this is pie in the sky.
I
Nobody knows.
understand that, but
I think it's worth 50, give or take, and I think the T206 Wagner is worth 75 to 100 million.
I mean, Kendrick was offered 40 a couple of years ago. That's not
Okay.
going anywhere. It's going to
Let
stay.
me ask you, Tom. My decision was 99% investment, 99% financial. How much percentage would your decision be?
It would be well. See, that's a good question.
Yeah.
If the Mantle card was more valuable, I would probably pick the Mantle card for investment purposes. But I'm getting the best of both worlds because I would certainly pick the Wagner, and the value of that is every bit as much, if not more. So, from an investment standpoint, I would definitely take the Wagner. Plus, the gravy is that it's the love of the card, and that is a vintage card like that. So, interesting.
The Wagner is more.
Yeah, I
The
think it
Wagner
is too.
is worth more.
I think it is too. What did you guys get for that Shields Wagner?
$5,125,000.
And what was that? A PSA 1?
One.
Yeah, those cards.
I think a three. I could think a nice three would sell publicly for at least 15 million.
Hey, Joe, where's all this money coming from? Is it just inflation of the economy, or are there tons of investors just flocking into the hobby?
Well, first thing, it's not coming from my checking account. I can tell you that. Lou. I think it's more investors. And you know what I'm seeing more of too, Lou? Investor groups, not individual people. Groups of 2, 3, 4 people. They put this LLC together and they're buying these cardboard commodities.
But something though. But I was talking to Paul Borges this morning before we went on the air, before I was making my sandwich, and he told me. I said, Paul, how's business? He says, Tom, he says, I've never seen it as red hot as it is right now. He says, I can't keep inventory in the shop. He says, I'm having a hard time keeping inventory. He says, I sold the card. I can't remember what the card was. He sold the card last week for $7,000. Can't remember what it was. It was a vintage card. He said it sold this week for $11,000. He said he's seeing a lot of that. That it's just red hot.
Right. And Tom, Lou, I'll be honest. I used to be a walking price guide with vintage cards. I have to check VCP and Card Ladder now.
I'll bet.
I can't keep, like Lou just said, I can't keep up with the pricing upticks. It's not every 3 to 6 months. It's like every 3 to 6 days.
Unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a break. Joe T's in the house. Lou, we're going to blow off the Diamondback stuff. Is that all right?
It's fine by me. Yeah.
Makes your job easier, of course. Right?
Either way, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll take a break. When we come back, Joe, I want your thoughts on what's hot, what's not, the most underrated cards, vintage cards on the market. We're going to take a quick break. Joe T is in the house. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the industry leader when it comes to helping you realize the most money for your baseball cards and sports memorabilia. In addition to their unparalleled reputation for honesty and integrity, they reach the largest number of bidders in the business and offer lower sellers' fees, as well as generous cash advances up front on your valuable material. Contact them today at 908-226-9900. That's 908-226-9900 or at robertedwardauction.com.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
All right, we are back, and Joe T. from Goldin Auctions is in the house. You know, while we were talking, I got a text from Michael Variali. Michael said that we were talking about Mays and Mantle in 73, that he was like 2 years old. And I'm saying, Michael, that's shenanigans, because you look about 112, number one. But anyways, let's talk about our friend, our good pal, Michael Variali, and his unique business model, Sports Cards, the Hobby. Michael takes pride in educating collectors about the ins and outs of the hobby and will advise you on making sound decisions based on your collecting needs. You can follow them on Instagram at Sports Cards the Hobby or on Facebook. While you're there, check out their super rare collection of unique Ken Griffey Jr. signed rookie cards and many, many others. And Michael did send me a list of a couple of others, Michael, and I'm sorry I left it in my office. To learn the value of your collection and event schedule, visit sportscardsthehobby.com or call or text 631-339-0900. Educating, buying, and selling and trading is Sports Cards the Hobby. But, Michael, I'll tell you what I can do. I mean, I know Michael's got a couple of 33 Gaudis. He's got a Wagner. He'll be more than happy to sell them to you. Okay? Is that good, Mike? Thank you. All right, let's get back to our good friend, Joe T. You know, I want to run this. You know, we were talking, Joe, I don't know when it was, earlier this week, about some of the iconic, I don't know, you brought up some of the iconic moments in sports history, and then we started going back and forth. I wanted to talk about that for just a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the National later on and all that good stuff. But I want to talk to Lou first. Let's go around a little bit. Lou, what is your top three iconic moments in sports history?
My most iconic moment might be Sophie Cunningham this week, by the way. That was pretty wild.
That was great.
It's yeah, and the memes have just kept coming. It's just great.
Oh yeah, I love her. Yep.
Hard to say. I mean, the Malcolm Butler.
It doesn't have to be a top three. There's some iconic moments that we can chat about.
The Malcolm Butler interception.
See, Joe, I said that to you. What did you say? Oh, people are not even going to remember Malcolm Butler. Are you crazy?
No, I didn't say it wasn't iconic. I just think there's a lot more. There's a lot more definitive iconic moments.
Well, Joe tipped me off that you were going to talk about this, and I told Joe I'm from Boston, so I have a Boston bent on all this, and that's
well, I do too. I mentioned some of those too.
Boston
obviously,
sports fans.
All right, so Joe, what's your one iconic moment?
Well, I'm going to give you two. Okay? Actually, I'm going to give you three, and I'm going to be quick. Not, I came up with 10, not in any particular order.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
Right, but number one, there is one that to me is number one. When the U.S. beat Russia in the '80 Olympics.
81.
College kids
Yep.
beat the best team in the universe. Unbeatable team. Our professional teams couldn't beat them. And you know what?
Yep.
When Al Michaels said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. To me, that's the most iconic announcement of a miraculous event in sporting history.
I would agree with that.
And there's a great aftermath real quick with Herb Brooks, the great coach of that team. You know, when we started with the dream teams, someone asked Herb Brooks, "So what's your thought, coach, on this this new practice where we get to use dream teams?" What a great answer by Herb Brooks. Now that we have dream teams, we seldom get to dream anymore.
Oh.
And he hit the nail on the head because, you know, again, college kids going into an Olympics, beating a professional team, whatever. I mean, those days, that will never happen again.
You think Mike Caruzione's made a living on that, Lou?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
When's the last time he bought a drink?
Oh, my God.
So, real quick, number two I have, and Tom, I failed to mention this, Lou Gehrig's luckiest man on the face of the earth speech.
Well, that was a momentous event. But
it's called baseball's Gettysburg Address. It's so iconic. But you're right, it wasn't a performance.
I mean, it was a great event. I mean, you know, it was like, well, what's the difference between
iconic
that
moments
and Babe bows out?
Right. I mean, Roots called shot homer is on my list. And last but not least, and like Lou was saying, he has sentimental attachment to the Red Sox with the Patriots with the interception. What Secretariat did in the 73 Belmont Stakes is one of the most miraculous feats in the history of sports.
I would certainly.
You don't break records in racing by like many lengths or by seconds. You break them as a horse by a fifth of a second, or if you're lucky, 2/5 of a second. Secretariat broke the record by 2 full seconds, which is 10 lengths. Every fifth of a second is a length.
Yeah.
So no horse
has
ever got within 10 lengths of Secretariat's run. And that's like Mantle hitting a ball 560.
You know why, by the way, you know the backstory on Secretariat, why that horse was such a great horse. Do you know what the reason is?
3 times the size is heart.
Yeah,
of the average thoroughbred.
His heart was 3 times the size. Yeah.
Since Joe opened this up, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but he opened up the racing part of this, and one of the most iconic moments in my life, and we can talk about Earnhardt's death, which is kind of like Gehrig's speech. It's kind of off the performance side of it. When Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 for the first time in 20 odd years, and he came down pit road, and every crew member came out to shake his hand coming down. That was one of the iconic.
I don't remember that.
No, that was special.
I don't remember that. Well, what about, you know, I'm surprised, Lou, that you haven't mentioned what I think is the greatest football game of all time, and that was the 28-3 comeback Super Bowl.
No, it's on there. It's on there. It's up there. There isn't a specific moment that makes that iconic, because it's just the whole game and the whole comeback.
That's what I'm saying. What about for Boston fans? It's a negative iconic moment, but the Bucky Dent home run.
You brought up the Bucky Dent home run. Oh,
yeah.
Did you, Joe? We talked about it before the show.
Right.
And the Fisk home run on the other side of the fence was a great iconic moment. For
Tom,
Boston
I could still see Fisk just doing this in the
Yeah, you
batters.
talked to Rico about that. Rico was in the dugout, and Rico said he jumped so high that he hit the top of his head on the dugout ceiling. He was that's how high he jumped.
By the way, it's
Now, the
Rico's
most-
birthday today, isn't it?
No, Rico's birthday was a couple of days ago,
A couple days ago. Okay.
28th.
All right.
By the way, I was talking to
Happy
to Paul
birthday, Rico.
Borges this morning. Paul was at the game yesterday with his family, and yesterday was Rico. I didn't even know that. Rico doesn't tell us anything. It was Rico Petrocelli night
Oh, nice.
last night at Fenway. And you know something? We just got back from LA, but I would, if we were here a couple of days ago, I certainly would have gone. Paul said, yeah, it was Rico Petrocelli night. They had on the Jumbotron, great film of his career.
Nice.
And he was up there schmoozing up in the Legends box. So Rico, Lou and I are pissed at you because you could
Yes,
have
we
told
are.
us. He's like
would have
that though. He doesn't tell us anything when it comes to that stuff. I have
'Cause
to
he
like
can't get
pry
us
it out of
tickets,
him.
so.
I got to pry it.
Tom,
Yep.
what about Kirk Gibson's homer off Eckersley?
Gibson's homer,
That
yep.
may be the most amazing home run I've ever seen.
I agree, and the reason
Because he
being
was
that
crippled.
he was crippled. The guy came limping. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Joe. That was a shot. And it
And
was-
from a pitching perspective, guys, wouldn't you want to sit down with Eckersley and say, the guy couldn't even stand up. Why would you throw him a changeup?
well, you know, he and Kirk Gibson have done a lot of appearances together. They've done a lot of appearances together, kind of like Bobby Thompson and Ralph Branca did for a while. Lou, what about the Bobby Orr goal?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. That's probably more of a Boston thing than a national thing. It's Bobby Orr goal. Pictures in my head. I can picture it like it was yesterday.
I mean, right?
Yep.
I was sitting in Shirley
I can picture
Smith's.
the whole play,
I was
almost
sitting,
the whole overtime.
I was sitting in her living room, Shirley Smith's.
That photo with Orr parallel to the
Oh, yeah.
ice,
Yep.
definitely one of the most iconic sports photos.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Another
Got a lens to it.
another Boston bombing. What about the Tyree helmet catch?
That was
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
How about the Wes Welker non-catch?
The West Welcome non-catch, yeah.
Yeah.
Got Giselle all upset.
Guy didn't drop a ball, I thought, all year.
yeah, she was pissed at that. I remember that. Brady's wife. got ticked.
Game would have been over. Would have been a first down.
Louis, what about the Vinatieri kick for the first Super Bowl?
Vinatieri kicked first Super Bowl, of course. Yeah, very iconic. But the one in the Snow Bowl might be even more iconic.
The clincher. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a kick. That was an unbelievable kick in those conditions.
Joe, let's talk about. We've got a few minutes before the break. Let's talk about some of the most underrated cards in your opinion. What do you got?
67 tops Rico Petrocelli.
Yeah, there we go.
No, if
There
you're
we-
gonna if it's gonna be a Rico, it's gonna be the year he hit 40, which was I think 69, wasn't it?
No. My number one, Tom, and you and I talk about this all the time, is still the 51 Bowman mantle. So it's his true rookie. He's wearing number 6. And think about it this way. I mean, I haven't checked the pop report recently. The last time I did this analysis, there were roughly 35% more Mickey Mantles combined PSA SGC than 52 tops mantles. Yet, the 52 tops mantle pricing points range from 300% to 1,000% higher.
I mean, I own one.
So,
I own
I
that.
mean-
I was very disappointed. I bought that card. I don't even know when. I held on to that card for a good 5 or 6 years.
The 51 or the 52?
51. I had a. It wasn't a high grade. It was like a PSA 2 or 3. I don't remember. But all I remember is that I held on to that card for 5 years. I wasn't crazy about the card, Joe. It's not a beautiful card by any stretch of the imagination. But when I sold that card, I wound up making probably $2,500. $3,000 on that card after holding it for 5 years, 4 years. I was very disappointed in that. But it's not a beautiful card, but it's got to be considered an underrated card because it is his rookie card. What else you got, Joe?
I think we know about the T206 monster set and its popularity. Grossly underrated, I believe, are the 1911 T205 gold border cards. And I think the issue with those is
chipping
in low grade. Like if you got 2s and 3s, they get the border chipping.
Right.
And when the gold is chipped, they're just not eye pleasing. So you need to put that set together in mid grade. You got to have mid grade or better. And I think that becomes the challenge. But though in mid grade or better, those cards are absolutely stunning. Like when you have most of the gold border intact, from an artistic perspective, they outdistance the T206s.
Joe, what about cards like Hornsby cards? Here's in my opinion.
Oh, you're talking about players?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like pick a what's the key Rogers Hornsby card? What year?
His 1917 Boston Store Collins McCarthy rookie.
Hornsby?
Yeah, his rookie card.
Okay, so my question is, why does that card get no love?
Well, it's starting to. It was previously grossly underrated. We just sold an authentic. By the way, Lou, one of our 46 records.
Nice.
We sold
Very nice.
an authentic. It had one of the borders had a manual. One of the edges, or two of the edges, had manual trims, which we duly noted. Sold for over 20,000. Now, a few years ago, that card sold for like 6,000, 6 or 7,000. So, I believe a 4 or 5 in a public auction recently pushed high 50s to 60,000. So that Hornsby card is starting to get the love it deserves, but other Hornsby cards grossly neglected.
Right. And the same thing with some of the
why does it happen, Joe? Why does
That's a
cards
great
start
question.
to gain momentum?
Especially in lieu of Hornsby joining Aaron and Jimmy Fox, maybe you want to throw Pujols in there as one of the 4 greatest right-handed hitters in baseball history.
So why, Joe?
So Hornsby
Manny.
was
Sorry, Manny.
He didn't deal with the press a lot. He was a little nasty. He was a loner, kept to himself. So he wasn't in the public eye. And so he didn't have that hype other than his amazing statistics. The guy averaged 400 over 5 consecutive
All right,
years.
so let me ask you this question. Using a player like Hornsby or a player like Nap Lajoie, or a player like, I don't know, Wee Willie Keeler, with marketing in the hobby, can some really cool, good marketing drive the prices of those cards up?
For Hornsby, yes. Hornsby and Lajoie, yes. Wee Willie Keeler, what do they call him? Hit him where they ain't Willie.
Yep.
I don't know. I think he has limitations.
But Joe, you do promotion for the auctions. You do write-ups for the cards. That's marketing, and it can be very effective, I think.
I mean, you guys really control that. No, I'm not just talking about Goldin. I'm talking Goldin, Heritage, Memory Lane, REA. You guys really could control. Like it's interesting, and Lou's bringing up a great point. It's interesting how the card companies, the manufacturers, are controlling what's being produced right now. Why can't the auction houses, the vintage auction houses, do the same thing with what we're talking about? You guys could really control the marketing of a particular.
There's a big difference, and I'll tell you what it is. On modern players or current stars,
Yeah.
they're playing.
Yeah.
We're experiencing their glory and their world-class achievements. Now, turn back the clock to the Lajoies, Hornsbys, Keelers, Eddie Collins, Mordecai Three Finger Brown, players like that. No one saw them play, and no one ever
No,
will
Joe,
see
you're
them
missing my
play.
point.
No. Let me finish. There's only so much you can do for a bygone star. I think there's just limitations.
I think you're underestimating your own clout, because I'm just using you as an example. And I mean, you're one of the vintage experts, specialists in the country. But if Lou Blasi submitted a T206 Nap Lajoie PSA 5, 6, 7 to you to put into one of your auctions,
$5,000 to $10,000 card.
But if you were to say in your narrative, if you feel like that it is in fact, or use a Rogers Hornsby card, it is in fact, in my opinion, in Joe Tomasulo's opinion, this is an underrated card. I feel strongly in your narrative that this is an under. You're
I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Really?
If people are buying pre-war stuff, they want Root, they want Garrick, they want Jackson, they want the names that will echo through eternity, that don't need a jump start. People don't want a jump start. People want the real deal. And the real deal is Root, Cobb, Wagner, etc., Matheson, Walter Johnson. Okay? Now, do we market and push other Hall of Fame legends? Of course we do. Read my write-ups, Tom. I do it all the time. But, sorry, there are just limitations for those players because they're not Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner. People that didn't see those guys play, if they're going to spend big money, and Lou, here's where the investment part comes in. They want future prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
They want a cardboard commodity that they can say 3 to 5 years from now will go up X%.
All right, so then let's fast forward to the Ricky Hendersons of the world, to that the modern era player. Is that going to happen to them? Is a Ricky Henderson rookie card, for instance, going to continue to escalate in value?
You're going to ask me what Apple's going to be at the end of next year, too?
Okay.
Tom, my answer is I believe so. He's certainly an MLB immortal. Can't believe he's gone. It's just so surreal that guy is passed away so young. But I would put my money on Ricky Henderson. Now, of course, we have there's the fact that there's a lot more Ricky Henderson out there than vintage players. But
all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Joe, I want you to think about this during the break while you're having your cheese and crackers or whatever the hell you do during the break. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to ask you the question, Joe, what are 5 good investments today for vintage cards? I'm going to ask you that question when we come back.
Actual plays, like,
yeah,
or specific?
No, actual cards, series. Unless you want to say a player, but I'd rather have a card like a 1941 play ball,
Right. You want a specific card.
All right. All right. We're going to take a
Okay.
quick break. Lou's here. Joe's
Yeah.
here. Lou, you look pretty good today, by the way.
Well, thank you.
You look coiffed.
I am coiffed.
Yeah, you look. Yeah,
Finally got my hair cut.
Beard,
What are you, Tom?
No,
are
the
you
beard looks
stealing-
good.
You're stealing
he's looking.
terminology from Jerry Maguire.
He's looking dapper. All right, we'll be right back. Hang in there.
Is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
We are back. Joe T is in the house. I got to tell you guys something. When Ellen and I flew in day before yesterday, I don't know, from California, we hopped on the shuttle because we stayed at the hotel, Logan Airport Hotel, the night before because we had an early flight. So we left our car there, and we were on the shuttle bus from the airport to the hotel with the manager of the Ghana FIFA World Cup team.
Okay.
Nice guy, and we chatted with him. And the thing that struck me is he said they have been overwhelmed at what a different view they have now of the United States and the people of the United States. He basically said, we only can believe what we read and what we see. He said, but now he basically said, I'm telling you firsthand, I've seen it firsthand. He says, you guys have an incredible country and the people are incredible. So I felt good, him saying that.
It's been a drum that's been beat through the whole FIFA.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've seen some of the Scottish guys saying the same thing. Listen, before we ask Joe the question, let's talk about insurance, Lou. Is that okay?
We can. The Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., who's the current president of the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. With a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some of the companies that sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tovey of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefaa.com, thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
All right, Joseph. So what are 5 good vintage buys to look at going forward?
Well, we're going to use rookie cards.
Okay.
Of course, rookie cards always bring in.
And for our viewers and listeners,
investment.
get a little pen and paper out and write this down, because this is coming from the vintage specialist. What do you got, Joseph?
We're going to pick the 51 Bowman Mantle. I always said it's one of the best buys in the hobby.
All right, so let's talk about that for a moment. Most of our viewers, we always call it the 80-20 rule, cannot afford to buy a 51 Bowman PSA 7 or 8. But if they invest in a 51 Bowman PSA 2, 3, are they okay?
Yeah, I would go mid-grade. I would go 4 or 5. I mean, 2 and 3 is okay, but I would try and go mid-grade.
But a 2 and 3 will appreciate.
They'll all appreciate.
Okay. All right. Good.
Just not to the same degree, right, Joe?
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. Now, 1925 Lou Gehrig rookie exhibit. Grossly undervalued. And Gehrig is grossly undervalued. He's one of the top 3 or 4 hitters in baseball history.
All right. So stop. A 25 Gehrig exhibit. Are there a multitude of them out there? Are there many of them?
Between PSA and SGC, it's probably about 60, give or take. But
so you're not going to get a low grade.
Sure, you can.
Yeah,
you
but what's a PSA 1 going to cost you?
A PSA, it all depends on the eye appeal.
Yeah.
Ones will range now in the 30 to 45K range.
Okay.
Based on eye appeal.
All right.
It's a good buy.
It's a good buy.
Very
okay.
good buy.
What else we got?
We have, let's see what I wrote down. Okay. For the larger budget collector, Tom.
Oh, here we go. This is you,
Well,
Lou. He's talking about you.
I mean, people
Lou,
who can
this
afford
is
more than $35,000 for a card, those type of people?
no. If you got a few $100,000 that you want to invest in a card,
Okay.
low grade Babe Ruth rookie. 1916 M101.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only a handful of those out there.
There's 120 roots, and there's a lot of low grade ones.
All right.
So, all right. Now I'm gonna deviate a little, Tom.
Yeah.
From being specific. I highly recommend buying pre-war signed vintage cards of Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers.
Right, like very like legendary Hall of Famers. Not to take anything away from Ernie Lombardi, but I wouldn't be spending, my life savings on an Ernie Lombardi sign.
All right, so a T206 sign Mordecai.
Forget about T206. Let's
all right.
Let's
all right.
Go 50s. Let's go 50s.
Oh,
40s,
you said pre-war.
50s, 60s.
You said
pre-war. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So let's take pre-war out of that.
Okay.
Let's go pre-1970. Okay.
Guys, all right, how about a sign tops 1955 Richie Ashburn?
No. Again, legends, real superstars.
Richie,
okay?
no disrespect, Rich.
No,
Harold
I'm
Baines,
talking.
Scott Rowland.
No, yeah. Well,
who do you got?
Say goodbye. Say goodbye to that money, Lou. You'll never see it again. Listen, Tom. You asked. I'm going to answer.
Go ahead.
Aaron, Mays, Koufax, even Mantle, grossly undervalued. You can get a nice signed 60s Mantle card for like $4,000 to $6,000. And I think those cards down the road could be 20, 30K, 10 years, 15 years down the road.
Would you shop period autographs, Joe? Or like in Mickey Mantle, you could have a wide range of autographs when it was signed. Would one be more valuable than the other?
Well, he's making a good point. I mean, what about
Well, 50s are going to cost you a lot more money.
No, but he's saying, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong.
On the signature.
Yeah, he's saying you buy 1958 or 59 Mickey Mantle that he signed in blue felt in 1975.
Okay. It's a great question, Lou, and here's even a better answer. Yes and no. Yes, if the signature has nice eye appeal.
I see, yeah.
If basically it looks like it was signed by Claude Rains, it's half visible. I see Tom laughing. No, listen.
I get it.
No, right. If it has nice appeal and the signature's bold enough to say, wow, that's a nice period signature, there's no substitute for a period vintage signature. Now,
so a 55 Mantle signed in 55 or 56.
Right. But
okay.
I'd rather have a 55 Bowman signed in Sharpie than a 55 Bowman that has a 4-5 vintage signature that's hard to see.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Gotcha.
Yep. But so here's where I think us vintage collectors need to genuflect and thank Modern Cards because they did us a heavy. Because of the pricing points of signed Modern Cards, 7 figures, 6 figures, whatever, that has spilled over and it's been infectious to bring up the vintage sign market.
All right, so let me
Now you
ask.
got people looking for those cards.
I
right,
think
so
the
let-
modern market has been a fire hose into the vintage market. I think it just brought so much business and so much money.
It
and so much
has.
attention.
There's no doubt. All right, so Joe, what about the cards that I'm talking about? Like, I mean, is a 1957 Richie Ashburn PSA 8 signed card a good investment?
For Ashburn, yes, because he doesn't have a lot of signed cards. And he was very popular, obviously, in a prominent Philadelphia city. So Richie Ashburn works. Again, if you're talking about, let's think of a lower tier Hall of Famer.
All right,
like Bill Mazeroski, Harold
yeah.
Baines.
Okay.
Like Lou brought up Baines. I don't want to put a black cloud over the collecting aspect, because if we lose the passion of collecting, we're left with nothing.
Right.
You might as well just buy Apple stock or whatever,
Yeah.
or play the market.
Or Archer.
So I would encourage people to buy what they love. I would always do that. What's your passion? Are you a big White Sox fan? You want a Harold Baines signed card for your White Sox collection, or a Pittsburgh PA guy, Bill Mazeroski, iconic in the city of Pittsburgh. But from an investment perspective, those aren't going to work. You're not going to see the return you're going to get on the big boys.
But you can do both, can't you? And you can use the investment side to fuel your collecting side.
Of course. And Lou, that's exactly what I do for my own personal collection. I pass on so many great investment pieces because I don't want the piece of the player. But if I get the combo, okay, this is like a theater two-for ticket, Lou.
Yeah.
If like Babe Ruth, Christy Matheson, those are my favorites. If I can get a Ruth Matty piece that covers both bases, I'm all in.
Very, very, very interesting. I think we out of time, Lou. I guess we are, man. This hour
Could be.
It flew.
Yeah.
flew
Never
by.
out of time with Joe. Joe's gonna go.
Joe,
right?
Joe, before we let you go, let's talk about the National. You are going to be at the National. Now, you guys, you have more than one exhibit there, don't you? I mean, you're not where like Ken is. You guys are like kind of all over the place, aren't you?
Yeah, we're big shots. No,
I know that.
No, I'm just joking. We have a corporate booth that's, towards, the corporate area. Tom,
Yeah.
towards the back of the floor, or say middle to 2/3 down in the first room. And we are fortunate enough, it's not a vintage booth, it's where I'll be at. Our second booth is right in front of the doors when you walk in. You'll see a Goldin booth there. It's for all Goldin consignments. It caters to vintage, I'll say that. For my upcoming vintage auction, we'll have some barn burners out there, like a Cy Young rookie Pop 1 1890 rookie card, a Matty rookie era photo. We'll have some great stuff in the cases, but it's a catch-all for, all of what Goldin does.
Joe, by the way, will be appearing. We just a little change in broadcasting from the National. We're going to be broadcasting on the main Burka stage on Friday afternoon from 1:30 to 3, not 1 to 3, 1:30 to 3.
Am I first or second?
Joe, I'm sorry?
Am I first or second?
You're in the second. You're going to be in the second segment of 3 segments. You're in the second segment with myself, Gordy Bonkers, Joe T, Derek. Because
you gotta always put me. You have to put me with Derek.
Yeah, Derek, and I can't remember who the other person is. It may be someone that is like normal.
No, Lou, you listening to this? Lou?
Yeah, I know. That was a shot.
And maybe I can't remember who it is. Maybe like Brian
Tom, so
Drent.
you have 3 half-hour segments.
Correct. We have 3 half-hour segments.
Oh, good. So the time will only be a half hour.
Yeah.
Because Tom, I'm telling you, I mean Saturday not as busy, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I know that. That's why.
Pulling in consignments, giving up an hour is tough.
Well,
I was
actually,
gonna talk to you
we
about
gave
that.
up we gave up a half hour because you guys know who Curtis Pride is. Remember Curtis Pride?
I don't.
Curtis Pride was he was a major league player, great player, and he was deaf. And he's going to be doing a special fundraiser on stage. So we allotted.
The Red Sox could use some deaf players.
All right, listen, that's horrible. Let's cut him a break. They're gonna make him run. They're gonna make a run.
Kicking people out of the stands. They're charging the pitchers. You got to be a
Well,
little.
By the way, Gordy's a good guy. I'm glad you.
Gordy's a great guy, right, Lou? Do we enjoy
Yeah,
Gordy?
he was great. I was really impressed.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun with Gordy. But you know something, Lou? Should we start having second thoughts about Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer?
Meyer, yes. Anthony, not yet.
Tom, I gotta run. I'm sorry.
All right, Joe. Joe, thank you very much. We'll talk
Guys,
later on. I'll
Tom
call
and
you
Lou.
maybe tonight. To our viewers
You
and
guys
listeners, to
always
Lou
make my
Blasi,
day.
we love you guys. Thank you all for your support and happy collecting.